Many people think of philanthropists as people who make large cash donations. Even now, Black-led, Black benefiting U.S. organizations receive less than 2% of all philanthropic dollars. How do you think Black philanthropy has helped fill this void?
Oh my goodness. Well, as a graduate of an HBCU, and it's an all-female HBCU, what we give is what we have to give. We give money, yes, but also we volunteer hours. And I think that is oftentimes of more value in Black philanthropy, because we have more hours oftentimes than we have monies to share. But the monies that we share, we give with open hearts and generosity. But the hours that we give, we can encourage others who may not even consider it being philanthropic to assist us in doing things on our college and university campuses and other Black organizations, faith-based. In church, you know full well, in the church where we are, we do a lot of community-based activities, collecting food for people who might not have food, even going to other countries doing mission projects, going to other parts of the United States doing mission projects. We know every time there's a flood, especially on the East Coast, or a hurricane comes through, that something is going to happen in the church where we serve to go and help those individuals, be it monetarily, physically, helping them clean up the area where they're living, or taking food and health and hygiene items. Yeah. So I think we're the epitome of it, on the low side, but definitely the epitome of it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Next.
Right. I think it's vital. In fact, many of those nonprofits serving our communities are examples of Black philanthropy. People who give more than money and choose to dedicate their lives to a specific cause, an issue, an organization, and give not only money, but their time, their talent, their wisdom, and leverage the assets that they have to address concerns in our community and to express their love for humankind.
But one thing that just popped in my mind is, I think one thing people need to realize is that it's not just the big gifts, it's the small gifts. Sometimes people don't give because they say, they can't use my $5 or my $20, so they don't give. Right. But if you give $20 on a regular, especially on a regular basis, the person receiving that is so happy. They can put it in their budget. There's never a too small of an amount. Yes. So that's one thing that just popped in my head. The other thing is that in America, people of color are looked at differently. This is my perspective, differently than people of color around the world. For some reason, in America, it's okay to give to people of color around the world, whether it's Africa, India, in any other place. But here, when you talk about giving, we become those people that only want a handout. So we don't want to give, right? So we need to change that perspective. We need to realize that there are Black people, people of color, that are just as, God, I hate that word needy, but they have needs just like everybody else around the world that's poor, or that's lacking in something. And so we need to change that perspective, for one thing. Focus on the Black people or the people of color that are in need. I guess that's here as well.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Well, just the statistics tells you that Black philanthropy has to be there in order to, because there is a void. And the beauty is that we have statistics that show that as a community, we give a larger percentage of our income than any other demographic group in America. And so so there's two elements here. So one, there's the historic, systemic, leaving out discrimination, undermining of the Black community when it comes to philanthropy, when what the images show, and it appears as if we are the recipients of all this philanthropy, when in fact it's not true when you look at this data and statistic. And what is not shown is how we are suppliers of philanthropy in the many ways that we give, from financial to the collective works that we do in our communities, in the nonprofits and the churches that we volunteer for, to the everyday work we do to our next door neighbor to ensure that whether it's our elders or all of our community is fed and taken care of. So again, this is a telling statistic, and it's worth diving into, and it's worth really being clear where Black community is showing up, and being clear where America is not showing up for us.